such a time as this.
And welcome back to For Such a Time As This, the place where there is no such thing as a silent witness. It is October 21st, 2025, and I'm here with Rick as we look to end time prophecy. Rick, how are you?
I'm doing fine, thank you, Pastor.
Well, this peace plan, if you call it that, it's hard for me to understand a peace plan when they're shooting at rockets and they're bombing from airplanes. But hey, I guess
that's peace because somebody said there's peace.
I guess so. Our spiritual discussion will take a look back at Revelation 17, the promises God made to Abraham and his seed about the land.
Genesis 17, you said Revelation.
I'm sorry, I meant to say Genesis 17, and look back at the Genesis 17 and see if that corresponds at all with Trump's peace plan. We'll see how that goes. But let's start off with the updates from the Middle East. Rick, this first one. What is this first video we're going to see?
This is Israel's response to Hamas's violations of the peace treaty.
Here we go.
This is incredibly despicable, but really highlights who the enemy is that Israel is still fighting, even though there's a ceasefire in effect. Imagine the families of these soldiers, now relieved that there's a ceasefire and their sons are no longer in danger fighting, only to lose these two brave soldiers to this great evil called Hamas in the Gaza Strip. Thankfully, Israel responded with forceful airstrikes against Hamas. The IDF issued a statement shortly after saying, quote, "In response, the IDF has begun striking the area to eliminate the threat and dismantle tunnel shafts and military structure used for terrorist activity. These terrorist actions constitute a blatant violation of the ceasefire agreement, and the IDF will respond firmly." The IDF posted on X that its strikes targeted weapons storage facilities, firing posts, terrorist cells, and additional Hamas infrastructure. Also, the IDF struck and dismantled around 6 kilometers of underground terror tunnels, infrastructure used to advance attacks against Israel, using over 120 munitions in the attack. As a result of the IDF strikes, the Qassam Brigade field commander, Yahya al-Mabu, was killed along with several other terrorists of the Qassam Brigade. Hamas spokespersons distanced themselves from the attack on the IDF by these terrorists, claiming that they have, quote, lost contact with many of their fighters in the strips. And while this could be true, it also could be one reason why Hamas has been such a difficult enemy to fight over the course of the war. Hamas leadership could have made it very clear from the beginning of the war that every terror cell was to fight on their own and did not have to wait for orders from the top. At the same time, this is just an excuse, and probably an excuse that Hamas will use every single time that terrorists violate the ceasefire and attack IDF troops.
You're telling me that these cells don't have a television at all? They don't have a radio, a television. They're completely cut off to the world. This was only the top news of the world for weeks, for days. Top news. And you telling me nobody has a radio, nobody has a television. They don't know.
They don't know. Yes.
Oh.
We just stupid.
Oh.
I know. It's crazy.
They're not going to disarm. There's no peace. There's no peace treaty.
No, that's we'll see some.
Yeah, we said that from the beginning. Let's wait and see.
Yeah,
if Hamas disarms, I would be shocked, happy but shocked if they did it. And we've got some clips coming up here. What's the second one?
This is Hamas's 3 major violations already on the
This
on the peace treaty. On the peace treaty.
Remember, it's a peace treaty.
But you know what? They don't talk peace treaty now. They just talk ceasefire. They've changed the word peace treaty
now to
ceasefire.
Yeah, it's still hard to see a ceasefire when they're bombing. Okay, here's our second update.
In the last week since the ceasefire went into effect, Hamas has violated the ceasefire in 3 major ways that I want to point out. Number 1, they have only released about half of the hostages' bodies, the deceased hostages being held in the Gaza Strip, which were all supposed to be released within the first 72 hours of the ceasefire going into effect. Number 2, Hamas continues to attack IDF positions across the Gaza Strip and even killed 2 IDF soldiers yesterday. Number 3, Hamas has been exercising a reign of terror in the parts of Gaza that they now have control of thanks to the ceasefire, and have executed hundreds of Gazans in the streets publicly. Some of these Gazans were accused of collaborating with Israel. Some of them were rival factions who were a threat to Hamas's power hold of the Gaza Strip. Now, all of these violations and horrible actions have gone without one word from the mainstream media and without one complaint from those who cried genocide against the IDF while they were meticulously eliminating terrorists while trying to avoid civilian casualties. Where are the outcries while Hamas publicly executes those same Gazan civilians and broadcast it to the world? Unfortunately, those people who cry genocide don't actually care about Gazans or human life at all. All they care about is bringing bogus accusations against Israel to try and destroy the Jewish state.
Why would our media not report that?
You know what? You don't see it anywhere.
Yeah, why is that? What could possibly be the motivation of U.S. media ignoring the fact that Hamas is executing Gazans in broad daylight, and they're, from what he's saying, according to him, they are putting it up on social media and blasting it all over the world.
Yeah, they're
Yeah, we're ignoring it. See, that's why you should listen to For Such a Time as This instead of Fox News, because Fox News is not going to give you this. We will, and this is the, I guess, the advantage of social media like this, in that you can hear things like this on social media that the mainstream media will refuse to play. And so the question becomes, why not? You would think that MSNBC and CNN and those outlets that hate Trump, why wouldn't they be broadcasting this 24/7 saying this little stupid peace plan that Trump has isn't even working already? They're not even doing that, though.
So, but it's interesting, you know. So they say that they got to bring in another outside Arab nations to disarm Hamas. How many Arab nations have strong enough armies to come in and disarm?
Turkey can. Turkey has a big one.
Well, yeah.
Are they going to do it?
They're not
They're not going
going to come.
to do it. They're not going to do
But,
it. Saudi Arabia doesn't have one. Egypt has an
Yeah,
army.
Egypt has a good army too, but
Where they have an army. We don't know how good they are because they haven't really. Last time they fought in '67, they lost.
yeah, they got their
But they have an army. But the question is, would they be willing?
right.
And do you trust Muslims to go into Gaza and stop Hamas? I don't.
No, Muslims aren't going to stop.
I don't think they're
Muslims.
going to put any troops on the ground against other Muslims.
So what else was in? This could be stopped right away. And Netanyahu started. He says, "I'm going to cut off all aid to Gaza now." And you stop the food, you cut the water and the electricity.
Yep.
How long will it take that all to collapse? A month, maybe at the most. 2 weeks,
Yeah.
3 weeks.
Yeah.
And but our government told Netanyahu to reintroduce.
You
the
mean
aid.
Trump?
Trump?
Trump's government put the
Netanyahu.
handcuffs on Netanyahu and the Israeli people.
Yes.
Again, prolonging this.
Yes.
There is some evil stuff going on. I don't understand what Trump's motivation is, though. If you want to end it, you have to stop Hamas. And it seems like he's not willing to do. I don't know. I don't know.
He says he's going to deal firmly with him, but he's been talking this for
Talking.
Talking.
Very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. Our next clip.
This is from one of the Hamas leaders in Qatar. He's got the suit on, and this is his response to Trump's peace treaty, peace plan.
How do you
He
ignore
just,
this?
He just spits in there at Trump's eye. He just spits in his eye.
Here it is.
First, we demand general elections. If the Palestinian Authority wants to rule the Gaza Strip, let it come through the ballot boxes.
In addition to its unambiguous intention to continue governing the Gaza Strip, Hamas does not intend to disarm either.
You agreed to the terms proposed by Trump, including the surrender of weapons. We did not give our approval to the terms in the second phase. We agreed, and in a clear message that we sent, a message in response to Trump, we agreed to a ceasefire and we agreed to the release of all prisoners held by the resistance, whether alive or dead, and of course, an agreement was also reached on the entry of aid into the Gaza Strip, in addition to the formation of a committee or body of technocrats to manage Gaza during the transitional period. This, incidentally, was included in our written response, which U.S. President Trump posted on his personal account online. As for the other matters, we clearly indicated that, for other issues, these require a Palestinian national position.
Its refusal to disarm or to relinquish its governing control over the Gaza Strip evidently stems from the Hamas leadership belief that it had managed to trick the United States into granting them 3 to 5 years of quiet that will undoubtedly provide them the necessary time to rebuild the devastated military infrastructure of Hamas since the atrocities that the terrorist organization had perpetrated during October 7th of 2023.
Which is exactly what we said when it happened.
You know, when they signed this peace treaty, it was Egypt, Turkey, Qatar, and the United States. I think there was a 20-point proposal on there that everybody accepted. Did Hamas?
Hamas is saying they didn't accept it.
Did Hamas miss that in the details?
Yeah, but they didn't. They weren't at the signing ceremony.
Exactly. But Qatar and Turkey says we will make Hamas behave.
Well, they lied.
Oh, come on.
So now, basically, Trump looked like he has egg on his face.
He does have egg
he really
on his
does.
face.
And we said it at the time. This is not hindsight. We said at the time, we'll believe Hamas will disarm when we see it. And Hamas is basically telling Trump, you could jump in the lake. We're not. What are you going to do now with the peace treaty? He wants the peace treaty so badly.
He'll do anything to bring it to pass.
But boy, it just and he looks foolish. And here's the thing: I understand why Fox isn't covering it. They will say you said anything they're pro-Trump. Why isn't CNN, MSNBC, CBS? Why weren't they doing anything? Why ABC? How come they're not reporting this? You have a leader of one side of this supposed peace treaty who is publicly saying, I didn't agree to that. Well, you know what? Go disarm them now, Trump. Because you said either they do it or they will be disarmed. Well, they need to be disarmed. And here's what they say. We want to, at the ballot box. You think Hamas really is going to abide by a ballot box?
Yeah, well, we got a gun to your head. So you vote for us or we just blow your brains out.
You're going to walk past guys with AK-47 as you vote and with Hamas masks. What you going to do? You're going to vote against them when an AK is pointed at your head? No. This is a sham. This is a farce. And I knew it from the beginning. The peace treaty that we're looking for, we did this last week, Daniel 9:27. The peace treaty we're looking for is not going to come now. It'll only possibly come when Hamas is eliminated. And they're not eliminated. You have here the next video, J.D. Vance. He flew over to Israel, right?
Yeah, he personally flew over to Israel
to talk with Netanyahu and the Israeli government. And they got him on the tarmac. And now I think he's trying to, how do you want to see it?
slow step it or
slow step,
step around it,
step around,
it.
make excuses.
make excuses.
Any peace treaty gonna have hill and valleys. Then you don't have a peace treaty, man. We got a peace treaty, but they're gonna be rockets gonna fly in between. Then you don't have a peace treaty. And this is oh my goodness. Here we go. Here's the last video.
Well, look, it's going to be complicated. I mean, the best case scenario, meaning if this thing absolutely produces that sustainable long-term peace that the president and I hope that it will, there are going to be fits and starts. There are going to be, Hamas is going to fire on Israel. Israel's going to have to respond, of course. There are going to be moments where you have people within Gaza where you're not quite sure what they're actually doing. So we think that it has the best chance for a sustainable peace. But even if it does that, it's going to have hills and valleys, and we're going to have to monitor the situation.
In response to a question about Hamas's repeated violations of President Trump's 20-point plan, the American vice president stressed that until an actual mechanism is implemented in the field, the terror group's violations will continue to fester.
When we talk about Hamas, you're talking about 40 different cells. It's disjointed. Some of those cells will probably honor the ceasefire. Many of those cells, as we saw some evidence of today, will not. Before we actually can ensure that Hamas is properly disarmed, that's going to require, as we know, some of these Gulf Arab states to get forces in there to actually apply some law and order and some security keeping on the ground. So I think it would be kind of absurd for the president to say, well, Hamas is going to be disarmed 3 or 4 days from now. We don't even have the security infrastructure in place, meaning the Gulf Arab states, our allies, don't have the security infrastructure in place yet to confirm that Hamas is disarmed. Until you actually go a little bit down the path of this peace mission, of this 20-point peace plan, we're not going to be able to say with confidence that everybody is doing everything that we want them to do.
Turning to the European Union.
To which we say, phooey. Phooey.
Which Muslim nation is going to come in there and disarm Hamas?
At first I thought J.D. Vance, when we pre-show, I thought he said, it's absurd when the president said. I think he says it's absurd if the president were to say. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's saying the president didn't say that. It would be absurd for him to say, but he didn't say that. It's going to take time. And to that I say, phooey. Come on, man. You really think these cells are so cut off? They don't have a radio or a TV, and they don't know that Hamas supposedly, brokered by Qatar and Egypt, that the leaders of Hamas have supposedly agreed to a ceasefire. I say, phooey. Phooey.
Well, you know what? Hamas still continues to pick up their paychecks from who's ever paying them, so they know where that is.
I guess so. But come on, JD. And again, we call balls and strikes here. Trump is messing up, continuing the aid. You're messing up. You're giving people just, come on, man, a ceasefire where they're still firing and killing Israelis. Come on, man. Come on, this ain't no peace treaty. There's no peace treaty. It's no peace treaty, so. All right, Rick, anything else before we go to the spiritual discussion?
No, we're just going to show why this is never going to come to pass, because you can't go against God's word and God's plans for his people and expect it to succeed.
Now, I will say this, though. I will say this. We'll get into it, but again, I think, Rick, I don't know about you, but I think this very well could be what is spoken of at the very end times. If this is the end times, and if we are going to see somehow the start of Daniel's 70th week, John's 7-year tribulation, then it does seem like a peace treaty is going to take place. We never said that this was a peace treaty. Matter of fact, we said it wasn't, because we didn't think that Hamas would lay down. But once Hamas is eliminated, then maybe you have a chance for peace. But
that's a lot of ifs.
That's a lot of ifs at this point. It's a lot of ifs. Hamas has to go.
Right.
Hamas has to go. But as far as the peace treaty, here we go. Genesis 7:5. No longer shall your name be called Abram, but your name shall be called Abraham. For I have made you the father of a multitude of nations. I will make you exceedingly fruitful, and I will make you into nations and kings, and kings shall come from you. He continues in verse 7, and I will establish my covenant between me and you and your offspring after you throughout the generations, for an everlasting covenant, to be God to you and to your offspring after you. And I will give to you and to your offspring after you the land of your sojourning, all the land of Canaan, for an everlasting possession, and I will be their God.
I think that put the stamp on it. It's not God's plan to divide Israel up between the Palestinians and.
But the thing is, here's the thing though, and I mean, obviously I agree, but is that talking about the millennial kingdom, or is that talking about 2025? Do you know what I'm saying? All the land of Canaan, obviously Israel does not have that.
Oh no, it's just a fraction of what was promised.
So he is talking of the fulfillment when the Messiah comes back and conquers his enemies, and then Israel shall have from the Nile to the Euphrates.
Well, yeah. So,
but again, Israel for 2,000 years, they didn't even own Jerusalem until 67. Eventually, Israel will have all of it.
yes.
I agree 100%. Here's Trump's peace plan. Here's the first. You wanted to go over Trump's peace plan. You want me to read it?
I can't.
Here's Trump's peace plan.
Yeah, these are
20 point.
These are
peace
just
plan.
3 of the last 20 points.
These are points 18, 19, and 20. Here's 18. Trump's put forth, and Trump's a great theologian. You know that he has his own Bible, so he perfectly has the authority to do this. So, all right, Trump's peace plan. An interfaith dialogue process will be established based on the values of tolerance and peaceful coexistence to try and change mindsets and narratives of Palestinians and Israelis by emphasizing the benefits that can be derived from peace. Oh, wonderful. Trump, I'm glad he brought this out. No one has ever thought of this before.
No one.
Nobody
What an amazing insight.
Amazing insight. An interfaith dialogue.
Dialogue,
Wow.
interfaith.
No one has ever thought of that before.
How's that dialogue gone so far?
Oh, man. Based on the values of tolerance and peaceful. And
Does
peaceful
Hamas have
coexistence.
values of tolerance?
Does
and
the jihad? Do you think that the Muslims for the last 2,000 years have practiced tolerance and peaceful coexistence? Really? Really? Oh, to try to change mindsets. So where people have failed for 2,000 years, Trump's going to be successful. He's going to change mindsets. But it's not just, it's not just the Palestinians. He's going to change the mindsets of the Israelis. And the Israelis need to be taught the benefits that can be derived from peace.
Peace. Oh, we have two.
Wow.
We have 2 more, Pastor.
Wow. Unbelievable. That's the first one. That's 18. Here's 19. While Gaza redevelopment advances and when the PA, Palestinian Authority, reform program is faithfully carried out, the conditions may finally be in place for a credible pathway to Palestinian self-determination and statehood, which we recognize as the aspiration of the Palestinian people. Wow, Trump, no one has ever thought of this before.
No one ever thought of this two-state position before.
This is wonderful.
Yeah, so that two-state solution didn't turn out real well in the last 5-6 years.
Dude, does he not know that when Israel poured their people out in 05, 06, they gave them Gaza so they could be self-determined, so that they could do what they want? And what did they do? They prepared for war. For 20 years, they prepared for war.
Exactly.
Oh my, this is hard. This is hard to read that Trump somehow thinks he can do this. That's number 19, and here's number 20. The United States will establish a dialogue between Israel and the Palestinians to agree on a political horizon for peaceful and prosperous coexistence. Wow, no one has ever thought of that before.
We're going to have a kumbaya party, and everything's going to be good. We're just going to sweep everything underneath the rug, forget
Peaceful.
everything that's been done in the past, and we're just going to be one big happy family.
Peaceful and prosperous coexistence. You know what's going on with Trump? He absolutely refuses to look at the world the way it really is. The reality is Islam in its purest form. And when I mean its purest form, it means when it's no longer the minority but the majority, and when they feel as though that they can exhort their will. Islam in its purest form does not believe in coexistence. They believe in domination. They believe in cutting heads off if you don't agree with them. That's Islam. And you know how we know that's the bedrock of Islam? Because their founder, Muhammad, did that. Muhammad was a conqueror. Muhammad cut heads off. Muhammad invaded. He didn't spread Islam through love and reason. No, he spread Islam with the sword. That's how it was in the beginning. So, I mean, these people with two-state solutions and oh my. Good luck.
It's very sad.
Good luck.
It's Trump has Trump.
Trump
TDS.
Trump is arrogant,
Yes, he is.
and he thinks he can do things that others can't. In some sense, the thing that hurts him, he actually has been able to do some things that others could not do. You know, but this ain't one of them.
Yeah, he's not going to thwart God's plan. And
Well, all right. Last words, Rick, as we wrap this up.
yeah, it's a nothing burger. It's not going. It's just going to deteriorate. I don't know what's going to happen.
You mean with Hamas, though?
Yeah, it's just going to deteriorate. I don't see. And the only way they're going to get rid of Hamas if Israel goes in there and just levels the whole thing.
You mean turn into a grazing field?
Yeah, just like Zephaniah says in chapter 2, verses 2 through 6, that it will be a grazing field.
Then you have to basically again. But they just let all those people back in. They let them back in.
I know. You got
Now
to
they
cut
gotta
off
move
the
back out
water, the
again.
electricity, and the food and make them leave.
Yeah. Oh wow. Again, I don't think peace is on the horizon as long as Hamas is there.
Nope.
But the hope from a Christian perspective is once Hamas is removed, will that lay the groundwork for a peace plan that will last longer than 2 days? The peace plan we're looking for is going to be scheduled for 7 years, and it will last for 3.5. That's the peace plan we're looking for, because that very well could possibly trigger the 7 years before Christ comes back. As always, thank you. Rick, thank you.
Dungeon Pastor.
Thank you for listening. Till next time.
For such a time as this,